So I've risked life and limb standing on various bits of furniture to get these down and this box down. Alright, and changing up the way I'm trying to do the videos because I wasn't too sure with the one that was looking at comics before, the little camera that I had to look at the comics wasn't giving a very good view of them. So I thought maybe better if I just hold them up to this camera because it's got a better picture on it as well. So you'll get a better view of the comics. And maybe bring the camera a bit closer. But if you've got any tips of what will make it look better, then let me know. Other than not having my face on it, thanks for that. Right, so started off, quite a heavy little batch here. Batman and the Outsiders. So let's go through these. This will be the full collection from 2007. Wow, it's quite heavy. Surprising how heavy these are. Actually, maybe I'm just weak. Anyway, so Batman and the Outsiders 1. Dixon, Lopez and Bit are the creative team for this. 2. Is that an OMAC on the front there that I see? I believe it is. 3. Who is that? Right, so that's Black Lightning there, isn't it? One of his daughters. Is it Thunder? Is that Metamorpho? I can't see. I'm only looking for the reflection on the video camera. Batman at the bottom there, of course. Who's that? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's like Martian Manhunter's being fought by the Black Canary there. Interesting. Oh, it is. It's Batman and the Outsiders versus Justice League America. They're having a bit of a dust-up. Why you got to fight each other, heroes? Why can't you just get along? Like, yeah, Green Arrow. I would have said it was Batman for a minute, but it was a bit small. That must be Batgirl. Yeah. Yeah, neither of them are particularly, although they're holding hands in a comradely way, they're both hiding weapons behind their back. That says a lot about the trust that Green Arrow has for Batman and his Bat family. Yeah, here we go. Last week we had a look at the comics DC Decisions, where Oliver Queen backed a Liberal candidate for the presidency, and it was like I didn't not actually got around to reading those comics again, but it was about who would Superman vote for and that kind of thing. You have to wonder if Batman would vote Trump. I don't know. I don't think he would, but who knows? Who knows? I'm not gonna guess or genuflect or anything like that. Is that even the right word? Probably not. I'll let the comics do that. Yeah, it's probably better off leaving politics out of comics because you know the arguments that causes online. R.I.P. This is the Batman R.I.P. times. I can't say I was a fan of that storyline, to be honest. I didn't find it. I mean, Grant Morrison, to me, I know lots of people love his stuff, but I find him very hit and miss. And his Batman, where he killed Batman, was it called Batman R.I.P.? But it must have been. But I was like, okay, this is yeah, I wasn't really a fan. There you go. I'm not sure if this is a better way of showing you the comics or not. Right, here we have a Batman and the Outsiders one-shot special. And this looks like, that's Owlman there, isn't it? Owlman, Creeper, Metamorpho. What's Owlman doing on the team? Isn't he a bad guy from another Earth? Earth 2 or something? A Batman variant. Bruce Wayne from another dimension. An evil Bruce Wayne. There you are. Is that Manhunter? Is that? Yeah, I think that's the new Manhunter, isn't it? I seem to recall she was a lawyer or defence attorney or something like that. I remember that, or a prosecutor maybe. I think she had a son as well, if I recall. I think that's her anyway. I've forgotten all about her, to be honest. There's Geo-Force and Black Lightning. I like Geo-Force. I think I don't know. I always liked him. I don't know why. When I saw him, I liked his powers or just his look or what. But yeah, I think he's a cool character. And then another cool character, or two cool characters, this one, Metamorpho and Creeper. The Creeper, who's upside down. I didn't realise Creeper was created by Steve Ditko, of course, who died. I've got to admit, I'm not saying I'm embarrassed to say it, but when I saw Steve Ditko had died, I was like, oh, I didn't know he was still alive. But obviously I don't follow the creators as well as other people do. I just follow the comics. I'm really terrible at remembering who the creators are and all that. I know Steve Ditko did Blue Beetle when he was did a lot of early Spider-Man stuff, and I could probably recognise his art if I saw it most of the time. But I'm just not really very up on who does what in the comics, to be honest. I'm pretty terrible. There's one or two that I will recognise their art or recognise the name when I read it and know what they've done. Others I won't recognise the name and I go, oh yeah, that name rings a bell. I know them from somewhere. I'm sure I've read their books before, but I wouldn't be able to tell you, what they'd written, that kind of thing. There you go. Who is that? Is that Clayface? No, not Clayface, is it? It could be Clayface. What do you reckon? Is that Clayface? And interesting question. Would Geoforce be able to control Clayface with his earth-moving powers? Probably not, but worth a thought. And is this Killer Croc? Yeah, I think that's the mutated Killer Croc fighting Creeper and Manhunter, I believe she is. The Cold Steel or the Cold Blooded is the heading there. Right, Geoforce in trouble during Blackest Night. Blackest Night, when the Black Lanterns, the dead, were risen by the Black Hand, was it the name of the guy? Who somehow made the Black Lanterns a thing. And since it's Geoforce and the dead were people that you knew in life, there must be his sister, little sister Terra, mustn't it? Who I can never work out if she's alive or dead anymore in the comics. I think they brought back a new version of her, or maybe I know she was famous for the Teen Titans, wasn't she? She was the traitor in the mists of the Teen Titans. A bit of a psychopath, to be honest. But a lot of people liked her character. Yeah, that's her. You can tell that's her costume. I think she had the same powers as Geoforce, didn't she? Geoforce, that's his name, isn't it? I'm confusing myself there. Yeah, Geoforce, yeah. Now I'm doubting myself. I'm pretty sure his name's Geoforce. So I told you I was terrible with names. I am really terrible with names. Normally I'm better with remembering comic books and the characters, but then I second guess myself, and because I'm so used to my memory being a bit rubbish, that I sort of second guess myself and then talk myself out of it being correct. It is Geoforce. It says here on the next cover. That's a relief. My mind is rested. Geoforce and Black Lightning, of course. Good cover. Nice cover. And then we have, what's going on here? The Vampire Romance. That must be Looker. Looker's used to be a member of the Outsiders, isn't she? So I'm assuming that's Looker from an older version of the Outsiders, but appearing in this more up-to-date comic. Right. This guy I vaguely remember, Freight Train. He was like a powerful super villain who came into as an enemy. Basically, once he starts, you can't stop him. He's like a runaway freight train. That's the idea, all strength and power. Is that Chemo? Is that the name of this character? Yeah, Chemo's Rampage says on there. It's either Chemo or Chemo. I'm saying chemo because I think of chemotherapy, but it could be chemo. What do I know? I was pronouncing Darkseid wrong for decades. Apparently it's Dark Side, isn't it? Yeah. I was always saying Darkseid, but it's not, it's Darkseid. It's, that EI order is strange, but it's German kind of, I've gone off tangent there, but you know what I mean. Like, Creeper's about to get eaten. But that's happened before. Creeper has been eaten before, and he got over it. He got eaten by Eclipso's. I think they were hyenas that ate him. I think Eclipse my hyenas, or it was in South America, so it could have been jaguars. It's probably jaguars, and they ate him basically and killed the whole of the rest of the team that had gone in to face Eclipso in one of DC's regular killing off minor characters for giggles. Yeah, but he got better. He grew back, basically. His plant-based powers obviously has some regenerative abilities as well. But poor old Wildcat, not the original Wildcat, Ted Grant, is it? But is it Yolanda Martinez or something like that? I can't remember what her name was. But she was a woman Wildcat. She got killed by Eclipso in that story. I can't remember what other heroes bit the dust. But I'm sure there was a few more bit the dust. They went in the Eclipso comic. It was. They went to get to try and fight Eclipso. Is it Parador, the made up South American country that he was in? And yeah, they were killed. Anyway, I've gone off tangent. Talking about Outsiders. Is that Solomon Grundy? Oh no, it's Doomsday. Oh yeah, Reign of Doomsday. I don't remember that. Reign of Doomsday. Was that a crossover event or was it a couple of little comics together? And then we have Outsiders versus Outsiders. Not content with fighting the Justice League, they're now fighting each other. It's like, come on guys, friends. I'm just working the best place to hold the comic. There you go, that's probably the best place to hold the comic. Yeah, that's probably the best place. I'm trying to hold a spot on my nose though, so maybe this is the best way to hold the comic. Oh dear. Should be getting spots at my bloody age, for God's sake. There you go, I'm holding up the stereotype of a spotty little comic collector, I suppose. So there's that going for it, I suppose. Vanquished by Veritas. Okay. That's the last thing you want to be vanquished by Veritas. And then final issue of Batman and the Outsiders. What's Batman saying? The war is over. Now the Outsiders belong to me. There you go. Batman and the Outsiders. Was it not Batman and the Outsiders all the way through? No, it was just the Outsiders. I think they start off as Batman and the Outsiders at the very first issue and then go to being the Outsiders. I think it did, yeah. It starts off as Batman and the Outsiders, then it goes to being just the Outsiders, then the last issue is back to Batman and the Outsiders. I suppose because Batman dies. That's why it went to just being the Outsiders. Unless he came back as a Black Lantern. He wasn't going to be helping out the Outsiders in his deadly state, would he? His state of death. Green Lantern. So one-off, Larfreeze, Christmas special, one shot, February 2011, Jeff Johns and Brett Booth. Yeah, Larfreeze, the Orange Lantern. I don't think Christmas is the best time for him because Christmas is all about giving and all he wants to do is take because the Orange Lantern is for avarice. It's my favourite colour, orange, though. I like colour orange, but that's not because I'm greedy. But, I don't know. I'm greedy for comics, maybe. Although I have stopped collecting now, but there you go. Right, more Green Lantern appropriated stuff. Appropriated? Collected? I don't know what's appropriated for. Unless it's the fact I've appropriated it. Ion! Ion! Let's put our eyes on Ion. Sorry. So, Ion is a 12-issue series. Ion being a super powerful character. Kyle Rayner, who was the 4th Green Lantern, I believe. Yeah, he took up the Green Lantern ring for our sector of the galaxy after Hal became Parallax. Yeah, and then after Hal, I'm not sure if this is after Hal returned that he became Ion, but it was like a supercharged Green Lantern kind of thing. I can't quite recall how he got the Ion powers. But for a while, he was practically, godlike, I would say. Almost omnipotent. Omnipotent's a good word, isn't it? I always like to say omnipotent, but I think omnipotent is the correct pronunciation. It just doesn't sound so good. Omnipotent sounds better somehow, but that's just me. There we go. Is that Hal and Guy Gardner there? Not too sure. Or is it Hal as a Green Lantern and Hal as a Parallax? Not too sure what that picture is depicting. It does seem like a team up. It looks like Hal and Ion, aka Kyle Rayner, Guardian of the Universe. Oh, he's got a promotion. He used to be guardian of our sector, which I can't remember. 2814 our sector. I can't really remember. If that's right, I'm gonna be well impressed with myself. I know I'm a bit neaky, but if I remembered. I remember the South American country that Eclipso took over as being Parador. At least I think that's correct. But what did I say? I can't remember what I just said was the number of our galaxy now. I thought I said 2814, but I can't remember if that's the right number or not. But I'm gonna give myself points if it is. There you are. I quite like this actually. This series was quite a decent series. It had some interesting moral questions and quandaries for Ion. It's like, you know, the old adage from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, he had great power, and it was how to use the great power. So he'd be met with moral quandaries. It's like one side of a war would say, you know, they'd have their reasons and, you know, we're in the right and these people are oppressing us. And then the other side of the same battle had their own stuff going on, their own sort of seemingly equally appropriate reasons that their side was right. And I think he was like racking his brain on how he could get them to stop fighting. I think that was on this one anyway. It could have been in the Green Lantern comic book itself actually, but I'm sure it was in this run. But yeah, I say I haven't read this for ages. I've not read since to be honest, since I stopped collecting 5 years ago. I haven't gone back and read any of my old comics. I keep saying I'm going to. Oh, that last one was a Tangent comic. So that would probably mean that it wasn't him being... I think Tangent comics were like an alternate version. Like not from it's kind of like from a different dimension, but it was the same name, but using a completely different style of superhero. At least that's what I believe it was the case. There we go. R.I.P. Ion. I don't think he actually died. Although it's looking quite like he's died there, but I'm pretty sure he's still going. Maybe he uses the last of his iron powers to resurrect himself. And there we have the... Oops, no, that was wrong. I'll give it to you in the wrong order then. That's the 11th, number 11. This is number 11. And then the last one is Rest in Peace, Ion. Oh my God, did he die? I don't think he did. I'm going to have a look now. I'm going to have a look. Huh. To be continued in Green Lantern Sinestro Corps Special. Ooh. Sinestro? Sinestro. How do you pronounce it? Anyway. Here we have Tales of Sinestro Corps. Sinestro Corps? Sinestro. I'll go with Sinestro. It's like Sinister. Sinestro Corps. Right, so we've got a few different first issues here. It's like, assume it's like a special collection of just like little one-shots, probably of people who ended up joining the Superman Prime. Surely he wasn't in the Sinestro Corps, was he? Although I'm sure he's able to cause great fear. I don't think he was ever become a member of the Sinestro Corps. Why would he need a Sinestro power ring? He's got enough power of his own. Then we have Parallax. Now, he can't have a yellow Green Lantern, could he? Because he was killed, then he come back alive again. But the Sinestro Corps didn't arrive till then. But is the Sinestro Corps powered by Parallax? Yeah, because Parallax was the fear that was inside the Green Lantern willpower battery, wasn't it? And that infected him. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I can't remember. Ion definitely. Oh, actually, no, I don't know. That last one, the end of that Ion where he said R.I.P. It said continued in this book, didn't it? Was it this book he said it was continued in? But on the top it says Tales of the Green Lantern Corps. It was Tales of the Sinestro Corps. Has been crossed out with Green Lantern Corps instead. It's not Corps, it's Corps. I keep saying Corps. It's not Corps, it's Corps. I know that. it's just one of those things in my head. I think when I first read it as a kid, I was reading it as Corpse because it's, you know, it looks like it should be Corpse. Just looking at the letters that are in it, And it's not, it's core. I know it's core, but I still say corpse a lot, especially in my head. Fortunately, I remembered to realise what I was saying there and changed it so I don't come across as a complete idiot, just only a slight idiot. More Green Lantern Sinestro core related comics. So what's this? We've got Green Lantern Sinestro Core Special. The War Begins Here. First issue, August 97. Wow, it's a long time ago, isn't it? That's 21 years ago. It is. It's 21 years ago. What? No, that can't be right. It is right. Oh, wow. Green Lantern, Sinestro Corps, Secret Files and Origins. Green Lantern, Secret Files and Origins 2005. Featuring lots of different artists and creators. I'm assuming that must mean that it's a little collection of different stories in it, which is normally quite a cool read. Guy Gardner. He's a feisty one. Guy Gardner, Collateral Damage. Howard Chaykin with Michelle Madsen. It's one and there's two. I put them both in one slightly bigger plastic thing. I don't often do the cardboard balls, to be honest. Probably should do. But yeah, I'm cheap. Another little two-parter, JLA and Hitman. Hitman is the only one of the Bloodlines characters who ever got any respect and any good use after the Bloodlines title finished. In my blog from last week I was talking about the Bloodlines hero for hire kind of group called Blood Pack. They all got killed off as quickly as soon as basically DC wanted to make someone look bad and evil. Who can we have them kill? Oh yeah, we'll have most of them killed by, I can't remember who was it killed them now. No, Dr. Impossible or something, I think it was. I've never even heard of him. And a lot of them were killed by Superboy Prime during the final crisis. I get all the crises mixed up. I'm not even sure if crisis is a word. Crises. Is it crisis and crises? I don't know. I can't even say Green Lantern Corps properly. Justice! We demand justice! With a classic, I believe that's Alex Ross cover. I think a lot of the stuff on this Justice line, it might have been, all the artwork might have been Alex Ross, I'm not sure. I remember when I went to the DC Comics exhibition in London just recently. Some cool Alex Ross art there. Right, these were so tightly packed into that one little bag. It took me about a full minute to get them out of the box. Out of the bag, I mean. So here we go. One. Look at that art. Two. Three. 4. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it, that one? Talking of beauty, it's Wonder Woman. Looks like someone with claws is ripping through the back of that picture. I've had to look at that myself, see what it is. Oops, don't bend over. Oh, it's Cheetah. Cheetah, her big enemy, isn't it? I should have thought about that, shouldn't I? One of her nemesis. Is nemesis correct or is it nemesis? I think it's nemesis. There we go, there's Atom, and it looks like Poison Ivy. Not really thought of them as being enemies particularly, but you know, these things could happen. Hawkman. Can't really tell from this angle. Oh yeah, it's just Hawkman, yeah. I thought there was two people in that picture for a second. but he seems to be fighting something there. Obviously he's fighting, so he's always fighting something. He's got his mace out. Oh, his axe, he's got an axe in this one. It's normally his mace, isn't it? He's ripped off a robot's arm. Here we go, Flash is approaching at speed. Captain Cold. Captain Cold, honestly, you got no chance, mate. Give it up, move to another city. You'd be better off fighting Batman. But you wouldn't get any better off, to be honest. But at least Batman wouldn't run at supersonic speeds. Is that Black Adam? It looks like it's Black Adam from here. Who's looking forward to seeing The Rock as Black Adam? Or is that Shazam? I know it is Black Adam and Shazam fighting each other, of course it is. And is that the rest of the Atom family? It's like Black Adam and Miss Marvel and Kid Marvel, is it? I'm not too sure. The other version, the young sort of Shazam is called. I think it's Kid Shazam or something like that. But they're all fighting Captain Marvel for some reason, or Shazam. I'm not sure we're allowed to call him Captain Marvel anymore. I really get confused with that. I know because Marvel, the comics, they got hold of the copyright, didn't they, for the name? Yeah. It's all a bit of a copyright legal minefield, considering that DC got hold of Shazam in the first place and forced it after they forced him to stop using Shazam because they said that he breached their copyright for Superman, didn't they? So they kind of forced him out of business, I think, because Captain Marvel Shazam was doing better than Superman, so they took to the courts to sort them out. Right, Sinestro and is that Green Lantern Hal there? I think that's Hal. And the last one of this series of Justice, can't really tell what's going on from here. He looks like the Scarecrow. Yeah, the Scarecrow, Cheetah, Poison Ivy, various other people in the background there. Interesting cover anyway. Alright, we've got some more. I've not even got into the box yet. This is all the stuff that was sitting on top of the box. We've got some annuals by the looks of it. Justice League of America annuals. Or maybe this is all crossover for this Ape Uprising, was it called? No, Ape Uprising is an album by Slough Feg. What's this one called? It's JL Ape. That's it. JL Ape. Guerrilla Warfare. That's Gorilla, not Gorilla. Oh, everyone been turned into an ape in that one. Is it all JL Ape in here? Yeah, I think JL Ape was like a crossover between the annuals. What year is this? Can't see the year. Maybe it'll be on one of the other comics. So we got JLA, Batman, Aquaman's got a bit hairy. That must make it hard to swim when you've got a big hairy body like that. Wonder Gorilla. Well, it's Wonder Woman turned into a gorilla. I can't remember the premise. Was there some kind of magical thing that literally turned everyone into gorillas? Or was it a reimagined world where everyone was an ape creature? I'm not really sure. We got the Flash annual here with Max Monkey, who was supposed to be Max Mercury in it. Max Monkey and Chimpulse, aka Impulse. You can just make those out there, I think. Yeah, that's quite an interesting little picture there. Quite amusing. The Man of Steel, the Monkey of Steel, rather. He actually looks quite cute. He looks quite funny. Is he fighting a giant gorilla robot monkey? Yeah. Craziness. Yeah. I suppose this must be the Green Banana Corps. Oh no, Green Lantern Corps. Yeah. Cool stuff. And then finally we've got the Martian Man Gorilla. The Martian Gorilla Hunter. No, Martian Manhunter. The Wrath of Grodd. Yeah, you got to think if gorillas are involved, it's got to be down to Grodd, hasn't it? If it's a gorilla problem, Grodd's responsible normally. He's a bad monkey. He makes Mojo Jojo look good. At last we come to the box. So all that stuff was on sitting on top of the box. That was quite enough, I think. And let's see what we have inside. Okay, start off with a little Vertigo title. Battle Axes. Battle Axes was like female Vikings, I think. Or comes with that warrior women. Like a feminist Conan the Barbarian, I suppose. I can't really remember what happened in it. I think it was a reasonably enjoyable read. Just a little 4-parter. I mean, who doesn't like a sword and sorcery fantasy frolic? I mean, come on. Who doesn't? And, you know, does it really matter who's involved? Red Sonja, you know, was a bloody good... I like the Red Sonja film. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't like that. It really got slated. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger says that when his kids misbehave, he'd make them watch Red Sonja as punishment. He said, do your chores or I make you watch Red Sonja. Yeah. But this isn't Red Sonja. This is other female warriors. And I seem to call it as a pretty decent read anyway. Right. This is the first bit of non-DC or Marvel comics that I've got. I know I don't have an awful lot of outside the big two, to be honest. I really don't. Got a few Image comics, I believe. I don't think I sold them on eBay. I did sell a few. I don't think I sold any superhero comics on eBay at all. Sold all my UK comics, my old funny weeklies. Right, so this is Body Bags. I can't remember what got me on to buying this actually. Whether I just liked the cover when I saw it, or whether I saw it somewhere else. But yeah, I don't know what got me into this. But anyway, here we go. Body Bags. 4-parter. I think that's the guy with the happy face is the father of the girl. I think she might be called Bunny. I can't remember now. I can't remember what his name is either. Maybe Happy Face. I don't know. He's got a big happy face there, so surely Happy Face would be an ideal name for him. Quite good action rollickers there. I think they're a pair of assassins actually, if I recall. They're a pair of assassins. Pretty decent art. Who does it say it's by? Let me have a quick open of this cover and see if I get something. Right, so story by Jason Pearson. Story and art actually. Story and art by Jason Pearson. There you go. So quite a talented dude. Alright, Vertigo. I can't say I remember this. Cruel and Unusual by Low Morals and High Voltage by Jamie Delano, Tom Payer, John McCrae and Andrew Chio. It's a 4-part, Cruel and Unusual. I don't recall it. I'm a bit cheesed off. When I was putting away those body bags just a second ago off camera, I managed to get the sellotape stuck to the front cover, and I think I've shaved grades off it because the sellotape got stuck. And it actually, normally when sellotape touches the comic cover, it peels away easily without doing any damage. But that one, it kind of took some of the colour away. So I don't think it was a very expensive book anyway, or a particular collector's piece or anything. But I've definitely shaved at least two or three grades off it, off of the cover. Never mind. For me, it's more about reading the comics, to be honest, and enjoying the story and the art than it is about, you know, making sure they're super pristine and good forevermore. Now, I do take care of them, but I'm not like a OCD or anything like that when it comes to care and attention. Just thinking to myself that this week's blog that I'm going to have to write up for this box is going to be quite big because there's a lot of stuff in here. Right, it looks like lots of minis maybe in there, I'm not too sure. Right, here we go. Capes, an Image comic. This is, this is another one where superheroes are like for hire. So Robert Kirkman, isn't he do The Walking Dead and Invincible? Both cool comics as well. Collected those. It's only a 3-parter. Yeah, this is it. This is like the top 10 precinct from Alan Moore. Basically, the police in top 10. The top 10 is the precinct, and the superheroes are a policeman kind of thing, like doing proper police jobs. But I think here, I don't think they're police. I think they're like hired out superheroes basically. So a bit like that Power Company that I was talking about yesterday, and that Blood Pack that I mentioned earlier on as well. Yeah, interesting. All right, a little help, please. No can do, pal. I've got 10 minutes left on my break. So the joke here is that they're, you know, taking everyday work rules and whatever and turning it into superhero situation. No, stop hitting him. His shift is over. Yeah, it makes me laugh anyway. Oh, and there's the back of that one. Yeah, the back's got a little picture on it as well. Oh my God, it's just a little, I imagine that's a little bit of the interior art. But on the back of that, he's been beaten soundly by some villain and his little football saying, "Disability, here I come." So he's looking to get paid off from his job. Yeah, it's quite funny. Next up we have Dead Again, a crisis in hand. It's Dead Man. Dead Man and the Flash, apparently. Yeah, there you go. There's a dead Flash in Dead Man's hand. A 5-parter. So is it Flash that's dead again, or is it Dead Man that's dead again? Since he's always been dead, pretty much. I don't see how he can be dead again, but who knows? Who knows with Dead Man? Let's have a look. So you've seen that one? Dead Man and the... So yeah, a crisis, of course, a crisis on Infinite Earths, where the Flash originally dies, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like he... Oh, I see, what's going on here? Oh, interesting. So this looks like, looking at the covers I've seen so far, it looks like Dead Man's, through history, looking at the deaths of fellow heroes. So here's obviously when Barry Allen Flash, during the crisis, saving the world. Here's Death in the Family, Robin. Don't tell me I know. Todd Drake? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's Todd Drake. No, I don't remember his name now. Todd something or other. It could be Todd Drake. The second Robin, when he was killed by Joker. Then we have the infamous death of Superman. Yeah. Farewell to a friend. Dead Man's pretty choked up there. But luckily for us, actually, all of those have come back now, so their deaths didn't last. I think Flash's death lasted quite a long while. So did no, it's Tim Drake, isn't it? Tim Drake is the third Robin. Who is it? Todd? Jason Todd. Jason Todd. Foolish me. I'm thinking Todd's his first name for some reason. Yeah, he's come back as Red Hood, hasn't he? And obviously Superman came back a lot quicker than all of those. And is this a dead Hal Jordan? I'm assuming it's referring to Hal Jordan, because that must be Coast City, because it was the destruction of Coast City by Mongol that made Hal go mad and let Parallax take over him, wasn't it? Yeah, he was dead for quite a while as well. He was dead for a long old time, and he became Spectre. So I don't know if this is Hal Jordan as Spectre, or who was it who became Spectre before? Jim Corrigan was the first Spectre that I know of. I know there was like a lot of them before him in the storyline, but he was the first one in the comics. Who was the name of the detective? Was it? Can't remember the name of the detective. The third one to become Spectre after. I think no. Was he before Hal? No, I think Hal Jordan was after Jim Corrigan. And then when Hal come back to life, I think that detective who was partners with Montoya in the Gotham PD, yeah, GPD, Gotham Police Department, yeah. Yeah, it was Brock or Book, or wasn't Book his nickname because he liked to read books? I can't remember now. Oh, I can't remember his name. Yeah, they're not all going to be in my head. More Dead Man. So we had that Dead again when he was going and looking at superheroes who had died over the years. And I suppose he must have attended their deaths and maybe ferried them on to probably purgatory, since none of them actually died in the end. Right. Still trying to remember the name of the police detective who became Spectre. Some reason I got the name Crispus Allen in my head, but I don't know if that was just a random name that's popped up. But I don't know who that is. He might not have anything to do with superheroes, but that name popped into my head. I don't know why. It could be that's the name. It could be that's something completely different. And yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I was looking at this cover for a second. For some reason, I was thinking H.P. Lovecraft. I don't know why. I was looking at it, and then I realised it's the guy who does Hellboy, isn't it? That's the art by the guy who does Hellboy. And there's always a ethereal kind of quality to it. I suppose with the Sphinx-looking thing in the background as well. Probably reminded me of a H.P. Lovecraft story, like the one that he wrote with Houdini, something in the pyramids or something, Curse of the Pyramids or Trapped in the Pyramids or something like that. I don't know why, just that popped into my head. Dead Man Beyond the Sea. I can't remember the name of that artist now. Let me look up the name of that artist while you carry on with looking at this comic. Come on, give me the names. No, because the inside art is not the same as the cover art, so it's not the same artist. Does it not tell you the name of the cover artist? Where's the cover artist? No, it doesn't tell you the name of the cover artist. But definitely the guy who did... There it is, it's on the cover. There's a little writing in the cover. It's Mignola. Mignola? Can't remember. Mike Mignola, is it? There we are. Is this one by him as well? Looks like it, actually. Yeah, and there is his little signature down in the bottom there. Mike Mignola. Be nice if there was... talking about a new Hellboy film, aren't they? I think that would be really cool. I thought both of the Hellboy movies, I don't think they was necessarily as successful as they would like them to have been, but I thought they were both really cool superhero movies. Really, really good examples of the superhero genre. I think it's because one of the things that maybe helped them is the fact that the character wasn't as well known as some of the other characters. So a lot of the other characters get slated, and because everyone's got their own vision of what it should look like and who it should, how it should be. That it doesn't match up to their vision. They throw their toys out of the pram and whinge about it. But with Hellboy, because I don't think so many people had an idea of what he was like and what his film would be like. I must admit I never read any of the comics before I saw the film. So I was just, I imagine maybe there's people who are really heavily into the comics who might have watched that film and thought, that's nothing like what Hellboy should be. But I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, this is a really cool film. There's Dead Man. And is that a spirit? Is that his goddess, Rama? Can't remember, Rama something or other. Rama Krishna or something? Right, I'm assuming this is the whole of it. Nine issues I have here. I'm assuming that is the whole run. Because in this period of my comic buying, I didn't stop. I didn't stop till 2013. And this is going up to 2002. So I wouldn't have stopped collecting those copies. Okay, Rose and Fawn. Quite a good little comic. Quite an interesting little character. Rose is, I think she's a florist. Just a normal, minds her own business, goes about, keeping her business afloat, mild-mannered. But at night, her other personality, the Fawn, comes out. I think that is the story of these comics. Unless I'm very much mistaken. Yeah, the Fawn is the kick-ass inner self that pops out at night and fights crime. I think if anyone messes with Rose during the day, Fawn will come out and make them regret their actions in the night time. I think that's the basic idea of it. Here we are. Yeah, yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, payback. Yeah, you've angered Fawn. These are by Gail Simone, quite a well-known and popular writer. She does write some pretty cool comics actually. From what I've read of hers, I've mostly enjoyed. There you go. Rose, or Fawn now, has gone a bit mad. She's a bit wild. Right, some more non-Big Two comics here. This is Top Cow Productions. This is Wanted. Mark Millar's Wanted. Now these were fun books. These were cool. They made a movie out of it. Can't remember who can't remember who the guy playing the lead role was. Get a feeling it might have been the guy who ended up being... No, it couldn't have been. I can't remember. I had a feeling he'd been in other things, like maybe he was in X-Men. It's not the same guy who was in X-Men. There's like the young Professor X that was in Wanted, was it? I don't know, it's just picturing his face. It could have been, I'm not too sure though. But it had Angelina Jolie in it, and Morgan Freeman. And to be quite frank, the film was absolutely nothing like the comic books. Absolutely nothing like the comic books. They probably wouldn't have been able to get away with what's in the comic books in the films, maybe. But they should have done. They should have had the oomph to actually do it. I can't even remember if the curving bullets in the air was in the comic book. I can't remember that. I don't think it was. It might have been, but it was just basically. This was basically a superhero book. It's a superhero book, but all the superheroes have been killed, and there's nothing but supervillains left. And it's not a league of assassins. It's a supervillains guild, a supervillains group, and they've overtaken the world. Like they're now the Illuminati or whatever. They rule the world, and he is the son of a great supervillain, and he does get plucked from obscurity by a female. I think she might have been called Vixen or something like that. I'm sure she had like a fox kind of name, but I can't remember now. Long time since I read them. But there's got lots of super villains in it, but real crazy super villains, real disgusting and deprived. You know, there's and also they're kind of like parody takes on existent superheroes. Yeah, this is the lady. See, she's got fox ears or some sort. I can't remember. She might have been called Vixen. I'll have to read these again because these are a good laugh, actually. They're OTT action and a bit rude, well, very rude. There's one guy who's like a take on Two-Face, but instead of having like half and half face, he's got basically his private area has got its own brain and it controls him. It makes it. He's got a. This channel isn't really censored, but he has an evil penis. That's all I can say. That forces him to do bad deeds. Yeah, and then there's a kind of Thing parody. Rather being made out of rock, he's made out of excrement. I think he's called Shithead. Yeah, so that's the kind of level of humour and depravity that you'll see in this comic book. Nothing like the film. If you've seen the film and thought, that's rubbish, I don't want to watch that, or read the book that's got that in it, then you should do, because it's nothing like the film, basically. It's a lot of fun if you're into adult comedy, I would say. Mature audience, graphic content. Some material may not be suitable for children. Yes, that's what I just said, basically. I can't remember what else Mark Millar's done, actually. I know he's quite a well-known name in the comics, but I don't recall what it is that he's done. I've probably got some more of his stuff, but I can't recall off the top of my head. Yeah, I think Miller came over to one of the big two. I think he might come over to Marvel in the end and started doing some Marvel stuff, which is why I don't necessarily know his stuff, because I'm more of a DC guy for all of my later comic collecting life. Right, Emperor Joker. Now, this is another crossover, I think. I can't remember if it was in the annuals or where it was in. That always annoys me though when it comes to crossovers and stuff. It's like, where do you put them? Do you put them in with their normal comics, or do you keep them separate from their normal comics, so you can read the entire story as a whole? Whenever I was reading back issues, I would go through a box and I'd get to a crossover and be like, the other part of this story is in another box. Like, I have no idea where it is. So that's always a bit of a chore to work out where to put things. Right, so Emperor Joker 1. I believe in this one, Joker gets the powers of Mr. That bloke there, whatever his name is. Mr. Mixolopopopple. Mr. Proper Cuppa Kettle in a proper cup of pot. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Mr. Mixixaplix. Something like that. He sounds like an Aztec god, basically. Like, Quetzalcoatl or Huitzilopochtli, blah, blah, blah. Right. Yeah, so Reign of Emperor Joker. So, is it just in the super books? You'd think he'd be annoying to Batman, but maybe because he's got Mr. Mixixaplix powers, maybe he said, I'll give you these powers as long as you annoy Superman. That wouldn't surprise me because Mr. Mixapiclix likes to annoy Superman. Unless you can make him say his name backwards, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Yeah, rather a crazy old school super book character. Yeah, from the silly era of comics, the silly but funny era of comics, I would say. Superman, the Man of Steel, and there's Batman there. So maybe Batman does get involved. Wanted for murder, Superman. So that's Steel the statue, yeah. That must have been one of the things that Emperor Joker did with his unearthly mixaplicable powers. There we are. And that is the last of them. Now, it seems to be a crossover amongst the Superman titles. 48-page specials in there. And at that time, I think I wasn't collecting the Superman titles, which is why I was able to buy them separately just for this, I think. That's why they're all together rather than being in their own box with the rest of the comics of the same run. So that's a bit of a relief. If I want to go back and read Emperor Joker again, then I've got them all in one place. That's handy. Right, Deadshot, a 5-parter. I think this is probably the first time he had his own comic. I mean, classic case of one of those villains that, starts off beaten by Batman easily, then he kind of becomes like a sort of anti-hero in the end. They give him a daughter that he loves and cares for and just wants to get back to, all the while he's in Suicide Squad. And so he becomes like an anti-hero, I suppose, in Suicide Squad. And, Number 4. Not sure who he's fighting there. They look pretty tough though. And number 5. I don't actually recall this comic, to be honest. But it looks like other members of the Suicide Squad are coming from him there. I think those are Suicide Squad members. That guy was a Suicide Squad member. I can't remember if he got killed. I remember he killed someone who was... I think someone took over Atom's powers as a supervillain at that time. I think he killed him. I seem to recall. And this guy is an assassin as well. I can't remember what his name is though. Is that Killer Moth there? I don't think so. Anyway, it looks like assassins are after him. Looking at the back of this comic, an advert for Constantine the video game. Don't remember that. I don't suppose it did very well. Dr. Midnight. Matt Wagner. John K. Schneider. Matt Wagner was the one who kicked off the series of Sandman Mystery Theatre. I think he was the original writer on that, back from my second show, where I first look at actual comics in the boxes. And so Dr. Midnight is another one of the old Justice Society of America, given Matt Wagner's update treatment, I suppose. I believe this is Dr. Midnight of modern times. I don't think this is going back to the original character. I think, with the JSA characters, a lot of them had elongated lifespans and they aged a lot slower due to some dimension they went to at some point. It's all to do with Crisis and how to explain the continuity in the books kind of thing. They ended up shuffling them off to fight Wotan or something like that in another dimension. So some of like Ted Grant, the Wildcat, he's still the same guy. He's still young and, pretty young and fit. Here's book 3 of this run. It's a 3-book run. There you go. Dr. Midnight. So I'm not sure if this is I can't remember if this is going back to the 40s for the original character or an updated version, or maybe the same guy but in modern times. Can't remember offhand. I think he might be a legacy hero, and he might be the newest Dr. Midnight, although I'm not too sure. Alright, Vertigo again. We have Unknown Soldier. Now I remember Unknown Soldier from the like weird war kind of books that DC had for a while. They had the Creature Commandos, they had the Weird War Tales, they had the Robot GI, they had the Creature Commandos. They were all quite fun actually. I feel that I might have sold them on eBay because I remember I was looking to clear some space and I was like, well, I'll get rid of the non-superhero, and they weren't really superhero books. I don't think I had a great deal of them anyway. I only had a few of them. I think I might have sold them. I kind of regret it now, but then you know, what's the point of having regrets? I did have regrets. I'm selling all my UK comics now. I wish I hadn't sold them. I could do videos of them as well. I bet people would love to see them, but never mind. So here's Universal Soldier 1. Yeah, this is a much more dark version of that Universal Soldier from those the war comic books. It's all war crimes and underhanded CIA operations kind of stuff. CIA, FBI, whatever it is. Yeah. A more gritty and realistic take on war and yeah. Also set in modern times rather than in World War II. Okay, I can't say I remember this one. The Monolith. Another four-parter. The Monolith. New York's future depends on the Monolith, a guardian from its past. Looks a bit like a golem of Jewish folklore. A behemoth stalks the DC universe. It's a pretty good picture. All dark and shadow, but he looks protective of that young lady rather than a threat to her. Jimmy Palmiotti is the writer on this one. Justin Gray does the artwork. Palmiotti is a name that I recall, but I couldn't tell you what else he's done. New York's Defender. Yeah, I'm not even sure where he comes from. I don't remember him. I don't remember this one at all, to be honest. A hero for a heartbroken city. From 2004. So it's New York. I was wondering if it was anything to do with 9/11. I can't remember what year was 9/11. 2000. He's looking pretty distraught there, looking down at some skyscrapers. And this is the only one where he hasn't got the girl in the picture with him, the lady, how should I say? So she's in this one prominently. And this one, she's the main protagonist of the cover, and then she's not there. But luckily, she's back again on the fourth one, so maybe she's not dead. Maybe that was... yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to read them again, man. Oh, hold on a second. I stand corrected. It's not a four-parter, because I've got some more here. How can I not remember? I've got so many copies of it, I don't remember it at all. It's good, though, because it'd be like reading it all over again, wouldn't it? I've got another bunch of them here. Oh, there's even more in this box, actually. I didn't look in... right. So... I'm guessing 12 parts. Yeah, I've got 12 parts here. I really do not remember it. And I'm normally pretty good at remembering stuff. I'm not actually. I say that I'm really bad at remembering stuff. I'm also quite good in other ways. I remember certain things, like stories and that, quite often. I don't necessarily remember names of whatever, but yeah. But to actually not remember at all a whole book is, I think, quite a new one for me, actually. The Monolith. I can't remember the Monolith. Here we are. Looks like he tussles with Batman. Batman comes from Gotham to have a chat with the Monolith. Interesting. Right, now on this one it says an automaton of iron threatens the Monolith. So an automaton is kind of a golem, isn't it? It's kind of like a golem is an automaton. So a creature of clay, risen by magic. So I'm assuming this automaton is like an iron golem or a steel golem or something like that. Yeah, interesting. But I don't know if that means that he's also a golem. It could be. To say it's from Jewish folklore, and there's quite a large Jewish community in New York, I believe. So it could be to do with that. The golem is quite a popular character in comics that has been used a few other times. There we go, looks like he's tussling with New York's finest there for some reason. And then this is definitely the last one I've got. That Ferris wheel. What's that? What, Coney Island, is it? Coney Island in New York? I reckon that must be it. And he's carrying the girl, the lady, the woman, should I say? Who looks, either she's asleep. Hopefully she's only asleep and resting. Though she looks a bit bedraggled. And that's the last of the monolith. I'm going to have to read up on that because I do not remember it at all. But the funny thing is, I was thinking about, when I saw this, I was thinking, for some reason, the Ragman jumped into my head. Because I was thinking about the Jewish mythology, folklore, whatever. And I'm pretty sure Ragman, who happens to be next in the box, coincidentally, is also based on that kind of thing. The cloak of rags that he's got, I'm sure it was some kind of... I think the character himself, can't remember what his name, no, I can't remember now. Is he of Irish descent or is he of Jewish descent? I can't remember now. I'm sure from reading there was some kind of, something to do with Jewish folklore on the Ragman's clothing, something to do with the origin, I'm sure it was. But it's been a heck of a long time since I read them. I get a feeling his name might be Rory in this book, I can't remember now. Just random things jump in my head. There's no necessarily proof that any of them mean anything or have any basis in fact. These random things that jump into my head. I'm going to have to look up that Crispus Allen bit because I'm sure that... I think that might be right now actually, I don't know why. So who is this by anyway? It's it's an 8-issue mini-series. Can't see who's written it on the front. It's not on the front cover. Cover art by Broderick. Can't say that he's a name that I am familiar with. Let's say who the creators are. Keith Giffen. Okay, Keith Giffen. Okay, art by Pat Broderick. Pretty sure Ragman. Something I was thinking, first of all, because the monolith came out, it was talking about him being the Guardian of New York. I was thinking that Ragman was Guardian of New York and he had some kind of New York connection, but I can't remember now. I kind of think he might be in Gotham. I think he might be involved in Gotham actually, but I'm not too sure. And then we do see Batman at the end. But then Batman is a common crossover in any kind of comic book, isn't he? He's just like the one that they will bring in, hoping to... get some more readers or something like that. But this was the last part anyway. This was an 8-issue miniseries, and Batman pops up in the last one. More Ragman. But this is a different 6-issue miniseries. Have I got all of them? Yes, I do believe I have. Yeah, Ragman Cry of the Dead from 93. That last one was from 91. The last 8-issue mini that I just showed you. This is slightly later. Ragman Cry of the Dead. I think it could be the dead souls that inhabit his rag suit that are crying out. I seem to recall that as a storyline. Looks like they're coming from beyond the cemetery there, crying out to him as he sits on top of a gravestone. Some kind of hag creature from beyond the veil of death has come to to battle him by the looks of it. But then it looks like Screaming Souls as well. Some kind of demonic creature or demon or something is bothering him there. It's an interesting one. He's just a whited out silhouette amongst a sea of faces. Are these the faces of the souls? And on the back, an interesting image of the last cover being attacked by children. Interesting. Ragman. He's got a cool logo. It looks like rags. Okay. Suggested for mature readers, but not a Image title. Maybe it predates Image. It's 1990, The Butcher. Anybody remember him? I can't say I recall him that well, or at all, to be honest. But then it's probably 1990 the last time I read it, so I think I have cause for forgetting. Right, looking at the cover, he's a Native American hero. I think that's the correct term to use. Or indigenous person, I don't know. It's a cool logo. A little bit heavy metal. A little bit 80s thrash, that logo. It looks like a god has been awoken. Maybe a Native American deity, some kind of thunder god, maybe Thunderbird. Wasn't there one called Thunderbird? Wasn't he a god of? I think because the X-Men had a Thunderbird, didn't they? And I think he was named after one of I don't know, maybe the Navajo gods or something. But there you go. That's The Butcher. I believe that's all of it. I always find it interesting to look at the back as well. I always enjoy looking at the back to see what's coming out. It's Swamp Thing TV series there. And then on the back of this one, the third one from the issue, we've got Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The comics as well as the stories, they're like, with the adverts, they're like a history kind of book, if you know what I mean. It's good to just look at them and see what was going on in the world in that time. Okay, going deeper into the box, we've got The Butcher again. Brave and the Bold, 6-issue miniseries. The Brave and the Bold presents Green Arrow, and this one's got The Butcher and The Question. I think that all three characters go across the whole of the titles. It's not a different hero or a different team up in each book. So let's have a quick look at the covers. This is from 1992. Again, it's another one I don't remember. I really like. I mean, I've never read a great deal of The Question. I know he had a whole series that I never actually collected, but I saw him when he came into the Blue Beetle, because he come out. He was with Carlton Comics, wasn't he? Carlton Comics, same as Blue Beetle was. And I think that when DC bought out those characters just after Crisis on Infinite Earths, Blue Beetle automatically straight away got his own title, and Question joined him in a couple of series, and I just loved his look, the old trench coat, fedora, the face you can't see. Yeah, I thought it was a really cool, interesting character. But I never actually collected his own series. But yeah, he's in this. Green Arrow is always pretty cool. I'm not sure what happened with The Butcher. Would not surprise me if DC killed him off to kickstart some event at some point. That would not surprise me. That's what these comic companies do, you know. There you are, fighting on the side of a logging truck, on the side of a cliff, of all things. Got the feeling this may have been an ecological related story. There's more logs here. Green arrow pinned down, and about to go for a blinking sawmill as well. I'd say that was Green Arrow in peril there. Very much in peril. Making a stand on a flaming vehicle. Fighting for justice and all things good. Right, now I was talking about the Bloodlines heroes, how they were badly treated and only Hitman got a good decent run out of the comics after the Bloodlines event. I forgot about Gunfire. Gunfire had a reasonable little run, I think. How many of them I've got in here? He had a reasonable run, not fantastic, and he ended up not killed. Didn't get killed. Oh no, I don't think he got killed. He had his hands chopped off instead, I believe, by Superboy Prime, I think. So he's not dead. So I shouldn't whinge really. Right. So let's have a run through these. Right. If you're not familiar with the Bloodlines comics, I'm not sure what year it was, but basically some aliens came down and they like to feed on the spinal fluid of humans or whatever races they were around. Just happened to be on Earth, so it's humans. And most of the people whose spinal fluid they ate, as you'd expect, died. Others, the very few who had the mutagene, become affected, and gained superpowers. It triggered their mutagene. So half of them became supervillains in some of the books, half of them became superheroes. And I say, most of the supervillains, I don't even know what happened to any of the supervillains, to be honest. I can't recall ever seeing them crop up again, I don't think. But the superheroes, they all had short runs here or there, and they all got pretty much killed off whenever DC decided they needed to have someone to kill off, basically. So yeah, but not Gunfire though. Gunfire just had his hands chopped off, so he's all right. He's fine. Don't worry about it. But his power, he was able to grasp hold of objects and somehow charge them and sort of utilize them as catalysts to create blasting effects. He was quite a cool guy actually. I quite like this comic run. I thought it was decent. I believe he was owner, like an industrialist. I think he was a metallurgist or something like that, working with metals. I can't remember now, but he was a kind of Tony Stark, but not quite so nowhere near as technological advanced. He just had a bit of suit of armour, not sort of super high tech or anything. Plus, he just picked up whatever was at hand and used it to create blasts with. Fighting a particularly nasty villain there. I think his name was Plasmid. That guy. Does it tell you up there? Oh, the Exomorphic Man. Or Attack of the Exomorphic Man. So maybe his name wasn't Plasmid. Maybe he was called the Exomorphic Man. Or maybe it was Plasmid the Exomorphic Man. Or maybe I'm just forgetting. Mirror Master. One of Flash's rogues. I don't think he fought that many well-known villains. I think he probably had his own little created set of villains that probably never used again. Number 9. That guy with the horned helm there looks to be his major adversary. 10. Yeah, the things that he used to pick up and charge, they would melt after a while. So they'd only last a certain amount of blasts before he had to pick up something else to blast with. And this was done by, I think it's Len Wein? How do you pronounce it? Len Wein. One of those names that I definitely recall, but couldn't tell you what he did. I think he might have done, did he do Swamp Thing? Len Wein, it's pronounced. I think he might have done. Creatures on the Loose. And there's the guy with the horny helmet there. And then number 13 seems to be the last one of the run. I've no idea what happened to any of the Bloodlines guys in the New 52 or the Rebirth or anything like that. It'd be nice if they had their own universe, actually. That'd be cool. You know, DC, do the decent thing, give them, you know, bring them all back to life, give them their own universe. Right, moving on to something a bit mystical now, a bit strange, a bit mysterious, a bit mystery. It's a mystery. Yep, mystery. He's one of the kind of magic trench coat wearing guys from DC Universe. It's a little, I can't remember much about the story. I know he's blind. I get a feeling, I can't remember if he gouged his own eyeballs out with a spoon or his father gouged his eyeballs out with a spoon. I can't remember. I'm sure there was some eyeball spoon action in the story, but I can't remember. I think maybe he saw things and either his father thought it was unnatural and gouged his eyes, offended him. If thine eye offends thee, pluck it out, kind of thing. Or whether he did it himself, I really can't recall. Or I could be mixing it up with a completely different story, but it's mystery anyway. I think this was kind of like a mature, I think it was supposed to be a mature, yeah, suggested for mature readers. Book 1 of 4 by K.W. Jeter, John K. Snow III and J. Geldhoff. Interesting art. Quite a strange story, quite a bit of a confusing story, I think I remember. Yeah. There was no punching supervillains in it, put it that way. It was all just strange stuff. And I think down there, that could be the kid who... the Books of Magic, was it? Sure, it was the Books of Magic. I can't remember what his name is, though, the kid. But he was supposed to be the future of magic in the DC Universe. I think there's a series of books called the Books of Magic where... I think Timothy Hunter. Is it Timothy Hunter? I can't remember. And... yeah, he was supposed to be the future of magic in the DC Universe. I get the feeling, before I actually got to this cover, that Mr. Ree, I think, wants to kill him. I think Mr. Ree wants to take his power. I can't remember now. He's got his reasons for it, but yeah, it was a bit of a strange read. I could be mistaken, but there you go. So from the strangeness and adult-themed Mr. E, we move on to a light-hearted 4-parter, Angel and the Ape. Angel and the Ape. What is it with comics and apes? They'd like to have, there's quite a long history of ape-like characters. Or is it only in DC?